Okay, good evening, Namibians. I want us to, and particularly those of you that are employed, quickly just get this out of the way. Okay, particularly those of you that are employed, I want us to have a serious conversation. Now, imagine a situation like this. For 32 years of Namibia's independence, anybody that you are employed and then maybe you resign or you retire before you turn 60, or you are even fired, you have access to your pension money. You access your money, you do whatever it is that you want to do with it in terms of that specific provision. The government and parliament have decided to change all that. They've been enjoying it for 32 years, they decided to change. I just want to demonstrate to you what these guys have done, and you need to follow attentively what has happened. In September, in September 2021, the Namibian government passed what is called the Financial Institutions and Markets Act, the so-called FIMA Act. Okay. Now, this FIMA Act, it's regulating all those the pension fund and all those things. It replaces those pension funds Act of 50 something. So they are all put into that piece of legislation. Now, what that piece of legislation does, it empowers NAMFISA, I think about 5 or 6 people of those ones that are in the board, to adopt, to develop the regulations. Now, I managed to look at those regulations under that FIMA Act, those regulations that are developed by NAMFISA. And those regulations are coming in effect on the 1st of October 2022. Okay? So what is it actually saying in those regulations? Now, as of the 1st of October this year, if you are fired by your employer, or if you resign, or you decide to retire before you even turn 60, or 55 or 60, say for argument's sake, let's say 55, you will not get your money. You will only be entitled to 25% of that money. The government, through this in the pension funds, and I'm sure these whites that control all these pension funds, including, they manage to influence all these guys in their interest. So they are going to keep 75% of your pension. Okay? You will not get all your money. So imagine if you have been working since you were 21, and then you are 31, and you are fired at 31 for those 30 years. And then for those 30 years, for argument's sake, say that your pension is standing at $1 million. Okay? What it means after the 1st of October, what government and this parliament have decided, what it basically means is that out of your 1 million, you are only entitled, even if you are fired, you are only entitled to 250,000. Okay? Now, obviously, this 250,000 will be taxed. Okay? This one is taxed probably, say, at more than 20%. Plus those other deductions. You are physically, in terms of the calculation some of our colleagues have been making, you are going to only end up with 170,000. Okay? The rest of your money, which is equivalent to what? 750,000 of your money, will be kept by a pension fund for until you turn 55. Okay? So if you subtract 55 from 35, okay, that give you a 0, and then that gives you 2 in 20 years. You are going to wait for 20 years to access your 750,000, and in 20 years you must sustain yourself with 170,000. Now imagine if you are fired, you will not get any job anyway. You are suffering with your children and everybody else, while 750 is in there. So go and read that this FIMA Act, they've already decided it by the 1st of October. And I'm sure most of you are not consulted about it. Why would they consult you? They consult the so-called industry. But this is something that is going to affect you. And they've been enjoying and getting their money. So, and between, if you are going to get fired or resign, or just maybe decided that you are going to take early retirement before you just decided to retire for whatever argument condition that you might have, you will not get your money. You will only get 25% of that. Okay? And it is scandalous, it is shocking, and makes a lot of sense. Of course, it demonstrates who is actually in charge in terms of running the country. Let's have this serious conversation, because it's going to affect you. It does not matter whether you don't like Job, whether you don't like whoever it is that you don't like. They have already decided. The FEMA Act is already there. The regulation developed by 5 people and whoever it is that they are listening to, they have already done this thing. So let's have this conversation, because this thing, the way it is, it's going to be very, very, very problematic. Now imagine it in the world of COVID. Okay, you had your pension and then you are retrenched. You are jobless, but somebody is keeping your money. Okay, for what interest, for what argument? Apparently, are they determining that you are not using it for the right reason? So you will not even be able to access your money to pay for your children education, or to do an investment, or to do whatever it is. They are going to keep it for you until you 10. So for in those 20 years while you are waiting for this money, what if you die when you are maybe 51 and you don't have any child and you're not even married? What is going to happen? So let's have this serious conversation, because by come the 1st of October, we are in trouble. Yeah, so yeah, let the conversation continues, and it's a terrible, terrible thing. But let's discuss it and engage it and see how it affects us. Okay.